Welcome to Garden City and the Gulfstream Cafe, one of my favorite restaurants in town, based on their crab cakes alone, but everything is great here. Meet Jeff Kirk. He happens to be a chef and managing partner here at Gulfstream Cafe. And Jeff, I remember being here back in the 80s for the grand opening, and it truly was one of the hottest restaurants around and still is. That says a lot for your team.
Thank you.
So let's brag about the restaurant. What are some of the hottest selling items?
Some of our best items are, like you said, the crab cakes. That's one of our most popular dishes. We don't use any fillers. It's just all crab meat.
No wonder.
Some spices, and the mixture is just pure crab. We also serve fresh fish. We feature a daily fresh catch every day, and we also have featured items. But we do have besides seafood, we have steaks, we have pasta dishes. So we have an array of everything.
And obviously, you cater to big groups, small groups, and families.
That's right. We do a lot of private events here on our deck. We do take reservations for larger parties. We start our reservations at 5:45. We actually do an early evening menu from 4 till 5:30. It's first come, first served with limited seating, and then our dinner reservations start at 5:45. And we're open until 10 o'clock, 365 days a year. And
I know that you have a lot of other restaurants here in the community. Let's give them a plug.
That's right. There's 6 restaurants here on the Grand Strand. We operate Gulfstream Cafe, California Dreamin' in Surfside, California Dreamin' in North Myrtle Beach, Burro Loco, Carolina Roadhouse, and New York Prime.
But this is a month with R's, and so we're going to cover oysters, a topic we've never done here on the show before. So why the connection between months with R's and oysters? I don't get it.
It's kind of an old wives' tale with the R thing. Nowadays, oysters most of them are federally regulated, and you can eat them any time of year. The months with R's goes back to May, June, July, and August don't have R's, and they're generally the warmer months. So years ago, improper refrigeration, plus things like red tide and algae blooms in the warm summer months made for bad oysters. Oysters are filter feeders. If they're filtering bad water, you're going to have a bad oyster. But nowadays, oysters are government regulated, and they're inspected, so you can really eat oysters safely any time of year.
I heard, Jeff, that you have an incredible oyster special on Thursdays.
Thursday nights, all through September, this month, and October, Thursday nights from 6 to 8, we do an oyster roast. It's $20, all you can shuck. Basically what we do is we fill the table up with oysters, you grab a tray, help yourself, goes from 6 to 8 o'clock, $20, have as many as you want.
Are they raw or steamed?
We steam them. We steam them. They're also served with hush puppies, your butter, your cocktail sauce, horseradish sauce, Tabascos, anything you would want with it. We also serve our regular menu up here. It is an outdoor event up here on our sun deck.
I never liked raw oysters, but I do like them steamed, and I love the cocktail sauce, but I also love dipping them in butter. And the fact is, when you dip an oyster in butter, and of course, I don't like liver, but if you dipped the liver in butter, I would like it. Tell me where the oysters come from. Delicious.
Right now, these ones are from Apalachicola, Florida. We only use southern oysters here at Gulfstream, being from the Chesapeake Bay down to the Gulf Coast. We try to get them locally, when they're in season. We usually see the local oysters in October and November, and we get the clusters, and we'll serve those for our oyster roast as well. But right now, we're using Apalachicola, Gulf Coast oysters.
And these oysters, by the way, they're big. Let me just show this one. This is just huge. And you can show us how to open one. Look at that inside there. Absolutely unbelievable. How do you shuck an oyster properly?
So, fresh shucked oysters, the best thing to do is grab a towel, grab it by the bill. There's this little hinge back here. The bill would be the front of the oyster. Then there's this hinge in the back. Just want to insert your oyster knife and twist. And as you twist it, there's a muscle on the top of the oyster. You're going to run your oyster knife down over the top of it to disconnect that muscle.
And there's the raw oyster.
And then scoop the bottom muscle out. There's your raw oyster. Now the oysters are alive until you shuck them. So it's best to use fresh oysters, and as you see, it still has the seawater in it. And this is the water from the ocean. They're alive. You can tell a live oyster from a dead oyster is they'll be opened already. So when you look for your oysters, you want to make sure that the shell's closed. If it's slightly open, you can tap on the shell and it will close. And that's how you tell when it's a fresh oyster. So your oyster should look plump and it should have the water in it from the ocean.
Let's just turn it here to this camera, make sure we get a good shot of it, because people need to know what to look for.
One of the other reasons too we have the oyster roast in the fall months is oysters they hibernate in the wintertime. So before they hibernate, they consume as much as they can, so they fatten up and get plump before they go into hibernation. So fall is really the best time to enjoy oysters because you have the plumpest, fullest oysters. Spring is also well, but they're coming out of hibernation and they're getting ready to spawn, so they've used a lot of their fat sources up, and you'll get a thinner oyster.
That happens to me too. I always get fatter in the fall and winter.
Don't we all?
See, just like an oyster. So tell me about this.
This is our Oyster Rockefeller. Oysters can be served, they can be steamed, they can be baked, they can be fried, they can be broiled. So this is a baked oyster. It's oyster topped with hollandaise, topped with cream spinach, bacon, and Parmesan cheese.
What's there to not like about that?
That's right.
So even though the oyster is not fattening, when you add all this other stuff, it adds a couple of calories, but yet delicious.
Absolutely.
I would guess this is a hot selling item for you.
It is. It's a very popular dish. We use this particular plate just so we can make sure we're serving a clean, fresh oyster without the shell or the risk of contamination of shell.
Is this an appetizer, Jeff? Because it looks like an entree.
That is an appetizer. It's $9.95, and it is on our appetizer for our early evening or our dinner menu.
Oh man, I could get this in a salad and just be perfectly content. So tell me a little bit about what you've got over here.
Those are our oyster shooters. Those are also very popular. Some of the locals, I actually had a local guest who painted a picture of it that we have downstairs in our dining room because it's one of his favorite items. But it's fresh oyster topped with cocktail sauce and absolute Papar vodka. And that just kind of thins it out. And it's meant to be just drank like a shot as a raw oyster.
I had no idea when people were doing shooters that there was alcohol in them. I'm glad I have not done one recently.
It's just a little hint. It's about a tablespoon, so it's not enough to really intoxicate you, but it does take the flavor. It gives the dish a nice flavor.
Now you also have great cocktail sauce, and I like to mention that because so many people just buy bottled stuff, and I can tell that you all conjure this up.
That's right. That's right. All of our dressings, all of our sauces are made in-house. It's spices, ketchup, horseradish. We use the freshest possible, best quality ingredients that we can find.
And when you have your oyster roast, I heard you serve them with your famous hush puppies.
That's right. That's right. The oyster roast does, like I said, it's $20 all you can shuck. It comes with hush puppies and all you can eat oysters.
I would insult you if I didn't taste one. So light and so delicious. I bet that's a secret recipe, Jeff.
It is. It is. Like I said, everything is made in-house, and we use the freshest possible ingredients.
That's like cake.
It's kind of like a donut, right?
It is absolutely wonderful. So tell me a little bit more about the oyster, because, I'm really intrigued by them. I saw a bed right out here behind us.
That's right. There are plenty of beds in the Murrells Inlet area. A lot of the local oysters come from Murrells Inlet or just south of us in Bulls Bay, which is in between Georgetown and Charleston.
So, Jeff, I also heard you have lunch to go, which is a new concept.
We do. It is. We just started it last summer, and what it is, we're here cooking. Our dining room is not open. Our dining room opens at 4 o'clock. However, the lunch to go from 11 to 4, we have a menu with salads, po' boy sandwiches. It's a lighter style menu, and we'll do it curbside to go. You give us a call, we'll have it ready for you in 20 minutes, and we'll bring it out to your car.
Well, that's terrific too. For all the people that are on the beach in Garden City, this is a great opportunity to take the food with you out to the beach. Well, Jeff, you and I are going to toast to oyster season. Oh, a Bloody Mary. I'm going to be dangerous after this. Let's toast to the Gulfstream Cafe in Garden City, overlooking beautiful Murrells Inlet. And are you open 7 days a week?
7 days a week, 365 days a year.
Wow. And don't forget Oyster Night.
Oyster Night's on Thursdays from 6 to 8, $20 all you can shuck.
Cheers to oyster season. It's here. Toast. Yummy. That's good.